This video is brought to you by the guitar Skyhook.
Hi there everyone and welcome to Artist Talks. Today I'm having again a very special guest, and this time it's one of the best singers in the world. His name is Bobo Moreno. Welcome, Bobo.
Thank you.
So good you could come here in our
Nice
little
to be
studio
here.
to have a
nice
talk
to be
about your very exciting career.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You're a fantastic singer.
Thank you.
And my guess was that you have been singing from the day you were born.
Pretty much, yeah. One of my earliest memories of being participating in music is I had this little baby's chair, children's chair. It was made out of foam, and I turned it upside down, and they were playing Blood, Sweat and Tears on the stereo, and the What Goes Up.
What goes up must come down.
What goes up must come down. I was just hammering away, and as I remembered, I was hitting every note perfectly. But probably the grown-ups just saw some kid bang, 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 bang. But my stepfather Bo, who was a musician, he swears that I was pretty tight at the age of 3. And that's a difficult song. It goes into 5. And apparently it was all there, but so music has always been a very big and important part of my life. Early on, the house was filled with musicians practicing in the basement. So when I was outside, I could peek in through the window and see there's they're playing the music and That's one of the early memories, and I've always been singing along to records. My mother used to work in a record store at one point, and she always brought home a lot of new music, James Taylor or the Eagles or the new Aretha Franklin record, and whenever she brings something home, she would just play it continuously. Yeah, that's how she did. New record. Put it on, do whatever. Okay, turn it around. Okay, do whatever. Oh, it's finished. Turn it around again. And just for a week, it would fill the house, and I would be in the house, so I would absorb it all, and I always like to just sing along and even do harmony parts for the songs because I just liked doing that. It felt good. And I think from early on, I could even tell I would do a harmony, and when you don't know anybody, you tend to just do it Chinese style. It's parallel. Yeah. And I noticed that when I hit that note, doesn't sound right. So I'll maybe go back and change it. Okay, that sounds good. So I started to realize that the harmony was. It was something. It was fun to do, and I just started, singing harmony on whatever I was listening to. So that gave me early on an understanding of be it what's the word, instinctual understanding of chords, and if it's major or minor. And so little by little, I taught myself music that way, from listening to just all these great artists that my mother introduced me to. And I say my mother because we were pretty much on our own. My stepfather is a musician, and he was out playing most of. You don't play gigs at home. You play gigs, and you go to town, or you go to Germany and stay away for weeks on tour. So I remember it mostly my mother and I listening to all this great music, Carole King and
what I hear, your stepfather was Stief.
Stief, yeah,
was a famous bass player around the world, based in Denmark, and your mom originally came from Los Angeles.
Yes,
yeah, and the music she brought home for you, well, you're mentioning now, is American music, isn't it?
Oh yeah, very much.
So you're a West Coast kind of guy, are you?
I wouldn't say that. My mother is very eclectic in her tastes. she goes all over the place with her music. There was a lot of Paul Simon, which is more of a New York kind of guy. I would, anything good.
Anything good.
She would play it and bring it home and play it. And so East Coast, West Coast, I don't even know where one begins and one ends. I mean, there was a lot of Stevie Wonder in our house. I mean, he's from by Detroit and then later the Los Angeles. So where are we geographically? For me, it's just Stevie Wonder, but Stevie Wonder was my big inspiration, as he is for millions of musicians and singers.
Understandable.
Oh yes, very much.
Yeah, but you grew up in Denmark.
Yeah.
And the first 7 years with one of the best bass players in the world.
Yeah.
As a stepdad, so there were music in the house.
Always.
And then they got divorced, and you kind of fell a bit apart. But then you started seeing him again a bit later. And
as I got into my teens, I started spending more time at his place, and we've always had a thing where we would, if there's a new album, Prince album.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the new Prince album. We'd sit in the couch and we'd put it on, and we'd just sit and let it hit us,
Yeah.
And okay, side 2, right? Okay, wow, just sit there afterwards. Okay, let's hear it again,
Yeah.
So we have that kind of relationship where we always explored music together and enjoyed it and talked about it, and all the fascination, and you listen to the rhythm is so funky and how experimental it is, and we share our enthusiasm, which is a wonderful thing.
And you started playing bass just a bit.
Yes, I started playing bass as a way, I suppose, of being closer to my stepfather, whom we weren't living together anymore, but there was a connection there, with the music, and he could teach me some things, teach me some fingering, and play records for me, play James Jamerson from the Motown records, or just Jaco Pastorious, all the interesting stuff he could introduce me to.
Yeah.
And so I started on bass. I tried to learn Teen Town, but I had terrible fingering, so I was all the way up on the boards instead of doing it right, and being economical with your
and no YouTube to watch other people play.
No YouTube, you had to. What was that? Pick up, You learn to go back 2 grooves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah. So you found your way around music and
very much.
Find the right places to stay. Then you stepped for the live with a female singer called Mona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mona Larsen.
Yeah. From when you were around going into high school or so.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And you decided to become a singer.
Yeah, after
a bit later.
Quite a bit later. I mean, after I've always had all this music in my life and in my head, and I always felt like a musical person. But somehow a career in music, or I didn't know even the word career at that time, but to pursue that life was too obvious. Because that was my background. I was, for some reason or another, kind of resisting it a little bit, and I was just going around having different jobs. And then one day, I was starting to play with bands when I was around 20, 21, singing, also playing bass, and just fooling around. And then one day, a guy approached me and said, "Well, I'm looking for a singer who's kind of like a Prince type of guy." And we had a conversation, him and I. I knew him as a very good drummer. And he was kind of interviewing me for this band he wanted to put together. And as it turned out, we never ended up playing together, but somehow or other he had heard about me as a singer, and I just remember distinctly after that conversation just waking up kind of, well, this maybe is the time for me to take this path.
A skyhook is a new and discreet way to hang your guitar on a wall. Use a strap button on the back of the guitar. If you don't have one on your guitar yet, the Skyhook comes with one for you to mount. Find more information on the website Skyhook.dk.
And so at the age of 22, I quit the job that I had at the time. I had paid out some debts, and I had taken a new loan and bought some home studio equipment, which was state of the art in 1988. It was, I think, the music store that I bought it from, that sort of bundled some stuff together that was going out of fashion, because all the new workstations were coming out. It was just around the corner, and
so you bought a 4-track and
I bought a 4-track and a microphone and a sequence, 2-track sequencer. Whoa. And a really crappy keyboard. And I think I just started doing demos for myself. Yeah. Because I figured I had I think that that's easy. I want to write music, and for a while there it was easy for me to do have ideas, but then after a while the self-criticism started kicking in, and then it wasn't so easy anymore, and my output slowed down considerably, and I did songs. I still have songs that I transferred from cassette to my iTunes library, and sometimes I press one of those demos from 1989 and just go, oh wow. I really didn't know any better at the time, and I don't know what I was going for, but it was just, it could be hard to listen to, but I was very excited about it at the time.
Could you sing in tune at that time? Was it listened in that way?
Yeah, I am pretty. I when I listen to it, I can hear a very young and undeveloped voice. Yeah, and not very secure in its phrasing, and you do eventually get better. Yeah. But a good. Now I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but the way I became better at singing was very much through diversity of trying out all different kinds of stuff, listening to a lot of instrumental. I listened to quite a lot of Coltrane, and was singing along to the solos, and instrumentalists they have others, they have other phrasing and melodies, and when you get that into your system, then it opens up your mind to what can you do with your own voice, and then little by little I was lucky enough to be introduced to a lot of different kind of gigs, and so that all these different types of music informed my own musicality, and so I grew through that.
But Mona Larsen gave you an opportunity.
So now we're winding back.
Singer.
Mona Larsen, she said, okay, you want to sing, and you can do maybe backup on my album. And I started doing backup on that, and went quite well. I found it very easy to do harmonies and that kind of thing. And so she took me into her live band, and we started going out on the road. We didn't tour that much. We had maybe like 10 gigs or something like that. But that got me started. And then I was there's a Danish band called Blast. They were in need of a backup singer. And they asked me, and I joined in. So there was a lead female singer, Lise Dandanel, and then Peter Busborg and I. We were the backups. And there was also we were 3 backup songs. So and then Lise left, and then Peter and we started being the lead singers, and so that was another gig that I got, where I could build up some chops and learn to sing in front of an audience and all that. And so, and then there was Bobo And The Bobos, which was a soul band I had back then. With Bo, yes. Yeah. It was actually a lot his project. He just played with a lot of young musicians at one of the what you call a stævne in English.
Get together.
Sort of a summer school for musicians. A lot of young kids that he thought were talented, and he just made a band with me as a singer, and we started playing gigs. So that was another thing. And I guess things just grew from there. And because I was already in the music business, or I had a lot of contacts, I knew a lot of musicians. Yeah. So my introduction to the music business was fairly easy. I didn't have to go and get myself known. You know, people started noticing me quite quickly because, Bo is playing with that guy, and let's check him out, and then it started growing pretty quickly.
But then a record company was working with a girl called Peaches.
Yes, Peaches, and Lavon.
An American singer.
Yeah, American singer.
And two very famous Danish songwriters called Rugsted Kreutzfeldt.
Oh yes, Rugsted Kreutzfeldt.
Yeah, and they were producers recording the songs, and she was tracking the vocals. And then they got hold of you. Yeah. For her solo album.
Yeah. It was funny enough because they were doing this solo album with Peaches, and I think at some point they got stuck and they felt they needed to introduce something into the project that would make it bring the process forward. And they spotted me doing backup vocals in a TV show. And I don't know what came first, the idea of finding someone else or them spotting me and say, maybe, you know. But it ended up, they pulled me in to this project that was more or less already done. But now it became a new task to make it into a duet. They had done these 10 songs, I think. Now, how can we make these songs into duets? And so they start splitting them up, giving me a verse here and a harmony part there, and then we had
and it was a duo.
It was a duo, yes, very much a duo, and it was quite an ambitious project from the label side. They had put some money into it, and then they put the record out and
got some airplay.
And there was a hit there called A Place to Turn. Everybody needs a place to turn. Respect what you believe. Reach down deep in your soul. There was a tour, and then when that records sort of ran its course, it was time to do the follow-up. And by that time, I'd lost interest. So, but I had the very good fortune of meeting these people, working with them, and that exposed me to a wider, more of the business just started noticing me, and so
you started playing big bands a lot at that time.
Yeah, well, no, that's even skipping ahead to 98. What happened after the Peaches thing is that I became a member of Sanne Salomonsen's band. Sanne is an incredibly great Danish singer.
Was she married to
Bo? She was married to Bo, so I knew her from when I was a child. Nepotism can be really a good thing. And she took me into her band, and we toured for a summer. It was great rock and roll.
That was with Mats on guitar at that time, wasn't it?
No, that was Aske Jacoby and Stafan Astnerss on guitar, great Swedish guitar player, and Aske just. It was a killer band with Per Lindvall on drums and Lars Danielsson on bass. It was just amazing. So I did that for a summer, and then I started branching out into other fields. And I was playing with Bo even. He had his band together.
Yeah.
I was touring with him. There was an album in '93. I think there was something.
Yeah.
Had me on vocals there. And then, just started going into different areas. And if we skip ahead, in '88, there's a jazz musician and arranger in Denmark here called Niels Steen, who is kind of he's an icon in jazz. Yeah. He just has this. He's really a great rhythm and blues and jazz arranger and musician. He has a lot of love for Count Basie and Louis Jordan and going way back, and he really has a great ear for making arrangements. And he had this band called the A-Team, and their singer, who was at the time Peter Thorup, who was just a great singer and a blues guitar player, but they had a gig at the Jazz Festival, Copenhagen Jazz Festival, on a Sunday, the first Sunday in the festival, and this was Saturday before that gig, and they found out that Peter couldn't make the gig. So
you had a call?
Somehow they got a hold of me and said, can you step in? I said, yeah, okay. So I went to Niels Jørgen's apartment, and he showed me some songs, and here are the lyrics, and we rehearsed it, and okay, tomorrow we do it. So it was Kongens Have, and there's thousands of people there. Yeah. And here I am, a male singer with a big band, not a full-size big band, but still
almost
it had that sound, you know, it was that kind of material. And there are not a lot of male singers around who do that stuff. So, but now I'm playing and you have all these musicians coming in from all the countries, all the band leaders. They spend their summer in Copenhagen going around and listening to music and drinking beer, you know. And I found an audience of people who could hire me for their own bands, you know. And pretty quickly I started getting gigs with all these big bands around the country, which was great. So it's just a whole new field for me to go into, and I love singing with big bands. You know, it's just a great sound to have. Just a magnificent machine.
You do a fantastic job. I'll take a short break because we'll listen to Bobo sing with Tiptoe Bigband just a short sec.
Hey.
Here.
50 53. They go it down to New Orleans to celebrate the anniversary. It was there that Pierre was wedded to the little mademoiselle. C'est la vie, c'est the old. Go to show you never can.
And we're back.
And we're back.
New Year's Eve, and that was great. Yeah, because I recorded it on video. So
you did?
Yeah, so I saw the concert and it was fantastic.
Okay.
You did Tarantino and Bond.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was a great concert.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I see you go around with loads of different bands because you're a hired hand as a lead singer.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you make your living.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And that's what you've done ever since 1992, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Just getting hired. I find myself being hired by very much to a very high degree musicians. Musicians hire me for their bands. Yeah. They have let's say a big band. Yeah. They have a gig, and they know I can sing the Sinatra stuff. Just to name something. And they love playing that. It's the old, the great arrangements, and they can bring this guy in who can match their sound. Yeah. And so they call me up, you know, or it can be a band leader who has a corporate gig, and he's doing the music for the whole event. And we need a singer. Maybe we have a singer in the band, but we need someone who can sing before we bring in the big name, you know. which is not me, but
This is not you.
I'm in the middle, you know. I'm in the middle, and then they can have in Rasmus Seebach to headline, or they'll have him before me, and then you know when people they had that big experience, then I come in and play 2 sets, you know, with all the old funk and stuff, and so. And just a couple of examples. I just did some New Year's concerts with the Esbjerg, not Philharmonics, but it's a classical group. Yeah. And we did Porgy and Bess along with a female opera singer, very good, Signe Asmussen. So you know, and it was a very wide range, and that's just the way it's become. People trust me to with different kinds of material. Yeah. And I rarely say no to anything because challenge. Yes, thank you. I want to do that. And if it's music that I like, you know, definitely I'll try and step in and do the job.
But this attitude actually sent you out of Denmark. Because Henrik from the mansion in Randers, where they
the Memphis mansion.
Yeah.
Henrik Colonel Knudsen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henrik Knudsen has an organization which is called Elvis Unlimited. Yeah. And I think they started producing concerts with Big Fat Snake, and what they did was they took in musicians that had played with Elvis at some point. And in this case, they started out with the TCB band, which is, it's James Burton on guitar, you know, and it's Ronnie Todd on drums and Glenn Harden and Jerry Sheff on bass. If you look at, you know, the all the Hawaii concert or all the Vegas concerts, those are the guys, you know, and they played with them for like 7 years on tour and on Vegas and on all these milestone concerts that were luckily made into films, you know. Just iconic performances and great musicians. Henrik had their number, you know, call them up and say, hey guys, you want to come over and do a concert and we'll couple you up with the Big Fat Snake. Yeah, sure, you know. And they made a DVD and an album. It was very successful. And then I think that's how it got started. It started growing, and they had TCB over to play with other artists. Now he called me to play with these guys, and also Steen Jørgensen of Sort Sol, Black Sun, and other Cindy Larsen. Yeah. And we did tours with, you know, those guys,
original guys,
which was just amazing opportunity to be able to play with. Okay, they were getting on in years, but they still played, you know, great. I remember I remember there was this Elvis on screen concept. You remember that? To explain, it was 3 screens. Vertical screens, 1 big and 2 smaller ones, and they project Elvis on the middle screen, and then they had maybe the backup singers on different footage on the other screens, and then they had the band on stage, which is the original band, playing, and they had isolated Elvis's vocals, and I guess with some sort of a click in the air, they could always play in sync with him. So you're watching Elvis on a screen, and then you're looking down at this band, and what you're seeing is Elvis, and in the background on the screen you can see Ronnie Todd
doing the right stuff.
You know, octopus drum set, crazy. It's like Animal from Muppet Show, you know? And then you look on the stage. And you see the same guy, just with a cap, you know,
playing slow.
Yeah, just playing, not slow, but just on a completely different dynamic, you know. But still great stuff, and can still turn it on, you know, but didn't have to twirl the sticks and all that. It's just much more economical.
Yeah.
But which was a strange concept. But I watched this a couple of years before actually getting to know them.
You met another band called the Memphis Boys.
Yes, I was lucky enough to be introduced to this other band through Henrik and the Elvis Unlimited organization, and the Memphis Boys. They were a group of studio musicians who they recorded in Memphis under a producer named Chips Moman. And if you look up Chips Moman, you'll find his name on song credits and producing. He's just produced Wilson Pickett, Dusty Springfield, Dusty in Memphis. Mm. That's the Memphis Boys playing. That lick is Reggie Young playing the guitar. You know, it's just phenomenal musicians, and they were brought to Denmark to do another tour and another production with again Danish performers, of which
you were one.
I was one lucky guy, but the way that started, I get the timeline a little mixed up, but I'm quite sure how it started was Elvis Unlimited would go to America many times and do these Elvis guided Elvis tours. Mm-hmm. They do Memphis, they do Nashville, Graceland. They do, I think, even Miami. There were spots all over where Elvis had some history. Hawaii, even I think, and so they were putting up a concert with the Memphis Boys in Memphis on Beale Street. Yeah. So Beale Street is this legendary, historically a black neighborhood in Memphis where all the black professionals they had their offices and boutiques, and you know, you find your lawyer and your dentist and your hairdresser and all that. They're all connected in this business street, and all the music clubs, and Beale Street is, you know, famous for music. And they put up a concert at the New Daisy Theater in Beale Street, and the way it was set up was the Memphis Boys and a singer that they work with, an American singer, and then three guys, a Dutch guy, a Norwegian guy, and myself. Nice. We were brought over with we went with Henrik Knudsen and that organization to do a guest spot on this show. And what happened was, when we got over there, that the singer that they worked with was suddenly unavailable. I looked him up and I strangled him in his sleep.
You locked him in a...
I chained him to a block of cement. He was just, they couldn't get a hold of him. So now we had this gig, and they had no singer that they knew, but there were now three singers, of two of which knew all Elvis material. I was not one of them. I knew a couple of the songs that I was supposed to sing. I wasn't very knowledgeable about the entire scope of Elvis's catalog. You know, I knew I knew some stuff. The important ones, but I didn't. Yeah, but I didn't know in detail all the other stuff. But they did, and they could just. Oh, but which song? Yeah, sure. So now we're in the rehearsal space with the Memphis Boys, and the Memphis Boys there are like, what are we going to do? You know, we lost our singer, and here are these guys, who knows how they sing? They had no way of knowing. But then we started going through the set list, and we had sort of divided songs out among us. I had learned a couple of songs, you know, overnight, because this all happened within, again, a very short period of time. And we started playing, and the guy started singing. I did singing, and you just see the shoulders drop, you know, and sighs of relief, and they looked at it. They sent each other looks and say, "Yeah, okay." It's just so a great weight was lifted, you know, and smiles all around. And then we did this concert, and it was just a phenomenal experience. In Memphis, walking in Memphis. Walking in Memphis. You know, walking in Memphis. I've been there, done that, because Memphis is more or less a tourist guide over what's there to see in Memphis, what made Memphis famous. And, so that was a terrific experience. And then after that, they came to Denmark to do a tour. But I had a very good connection with these guys. And they approached me and said, you know, it would be nice if we could work together and we could bring it to Nashville. And, you know, we all know a lot of songwriters. We have a lot of material, and maybe we could hook something up. We do the playing and you sing, and make some things and see where it takes us. Yeah. So I forget what year that was. Maybe it was 2005 or 6 or something. But I went to Nashville, and we did some sites. We did some
sessions.
We had, I think I think we had a couple of days in the studio, and we did four tracks. Yeah. Which were original songs, mostly original songs. There was one cover, a guy, an artist named Danny O'Keefe, who's done a beautiful song named called "Everybody's Gone Away. I think this time they're gone to stay." What's the name of that song? Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. Yeah. Beautiful song. And I knew that song from when I was a kid, and they played on that original track. So we did a re-recording of that, and we did, I think, 3 original other songs. And it was fun. Yeah. For me, just an incredible thing to be a part of. Because here you are making music with the guys who were there. They were not only there, they played it, you know. And they're just so incredible musicians. And by that I'm not talking about, you know, they could play a lot of notes fast and just, you know, shred. No, they weren't shredders at all. Yeah. They were feeling people, feelers. I like to say they sang the song with their instruments. You know? Yeah. These are studio musicians who are used to tuning into what's the song about, how does the singer, what's the singer's sound, how can we match that sound and play around it so, you know, that the singer sounds as good as possible. And they were very much of the less is more school, you know. Yeah. They played basic stuff, but it was just groovy and tasty.
But Bobo, can I ask you a question? Yeah. If you recorded 4 songs.
Yeah. Where are they today? Well, we did a what do you call that? A short album.
An EP.
EP, yeah. A CD of these 4 songs.
But that's your first solo material.
Yeah, I guess you could call
Was
it that.
Was it in your name?
Yeah, very much. It was called Bobo. Yeah. Bobo Moreno. Yeah, that was.
That's you.
That's the name of the album. Yeah.
But who wrote the other 3 songs? Did you write any of them?
No. They were written by one of the keyboard players. Okay. I'd say call him the band leader, Bobby Wood, who is a studio musician. He plays a lot. Has played on all Garth Brooks' album. He's one of those. I think they have a name, not Minutemen or something like that. Garth Brooks' band, studio band, has a sort of a name. Okay. He's been part of that band always. And
but don't you write songs yourself?
Yeah, I write a song every, let me say, 3 years.
3 years. Yeah.
I can only write a song when I'm completely hit by inspiration. Yeah. It's very hard for me to squeeze out a song,
Yeah.
or sit down and say, okay, today we're writing a song.
But you've been around for how many years?
Since it's going to be 32 years.
So that should be around 10 or 11 songs.
Yeah, you
That's
think
enough
that.
for an album,
You think
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah. Well, actually,
So when is the album due?
Yeah, it's just around the corner. And it's been just around the corner for 30 years.
It has.
Yeah. So I guess, pretty soon you'll be able to...
if there's anybody out there
pretty
who
soon-
would like to hear an album with Bobo Moreno, please leave a message below so he can see there's actually people interested in listening to what he's up to.
That'd be nice. We can make a little research, market research through here. Yeah. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah. But now you're touring, and you're also still touring with Bo from time to time.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And really... and it has to do with not having a strategy, no plan, just going with the flow.
Yeah.
And
that's your... that's the way you live.
That's the way I live.
In every aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not one to make plans,
No.
and it's not because I've chosen not to. It's just not the way
Life plans for
my
you
life
anyway.
is. No, yeah. You know, there are people out there who can have a 5-year plan, a 3-year plan. They can have a strategy and they can line it up, all of that. And some people can follow through on that and actually do something productive. But I guess I'm not one of those people.
No.
I live for the music, and it's giving me so much pleasure. Even as I sit here, I miss being out singing for people, because it's just something that I enjoy more and more as I through the years get better at singing and interpreting lyrics and conveying a message and making a connection with an audience, which is something I just enjoy doing more and more over the years.
I gotta have a few funny stories as well. If people look on records, what records that you've been on as a backing singer will they be most surprised to find you on, do you think?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
There's there's a Danish rock band who people might know abroad, DAD. It used to be called Disneyland After Dark.
You can't do that.
You can't do that anymore. No. So now it's just DAD. And they are a rock band. I think AC/DC might be their
but it's in that
heroes.
They're
loud and it's rock, and
that's you're on the records.
I've done a lot of backup vocals on their records, because I think the producer he knew me as a good singer in the studio, and as one who could bring ideas and execute something that sounded good. Yeah. And he just kept bringing me back for albums. I think people might be a little surprised to find, if they look at the credits on some of the 90s DAD albums, they'll find my name on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised at that myself.
Can you remember the most awkward job you ever had, or the most crazy job you ever had? Is that somewhere you got in the last second as you tried a couple of times? Or?
One gig that I found very peculiar, and this won't mean a lot to people outside of Denmark, but there was, at a point for many years, there was this artist, maybe you can help me with his name. He was very flamboyant and controversial. He always wore tight leopard skin pants, and he did arts.
Jens
Thorsen.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. He's this crazy guy, filmmaker and artist, and he was like a Danish Andy Warhol,
Yeah.
I had a gig where it was a studio gig. I was doing some songs for a knockoff cartoon of Sword in the Stone. Sword in the Stone was a big, I think it was a DreamWorks production in the mid-90s. Very big budget. And, whenever there's a big budget animation movie, there's gonna be an Eastern Europe, very low budget, cheap version, almost of the same movie, but on the DVD cover it's gonna look, when you pick it up, there's a Disney movie, and I'll bring that home for my kids, And there was this other version of the same story with songs and music, but just not in the same quality as David Foster making a song with Celine Dion and Andrea Bocelli. Quite a different level.
Yeah.
So I was brought in to the studio, and who opens the door? Jens-Jørgen Thorsen.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And he was a short guy with bald and thick glasses and a long beard, and he's just very eccentric. He was the producer of that session.
He was.
He was the producer of that session, and it was just him and me. Maybe a studio tech also pressing a record and all that. But he was giving me directions in how to execute these songs. And he actually said some things that I could use later on. Yeah. He gave me a very good advice. Yeah. Which was, and he had this raspy voice. Yeah. He said, find the most important words in each sentence and emphasize them. And is not an important word. No. But then maybe there's other words that convey the story. Yeah. More expression on them, and then save your breath on the. Not a bad piece of advice, No. Just if you want to make a shortcut to doing a little better performance.
Did you ever do theatre jobs?
Yeah, I was in a production of Hair, the musical. Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. It can be long. And flowing. And when the wind blows, it's sort of.
I remember the feeling,
Yeah. So it can be a beautiful thing. And
how was that? Did you like that?
I liked the music. But it was a mixed experience for me. Yeah. I enjoyed being part of a production with a lot of people that I didn't know before. I like being with that group of people and working, and you get close and tight knit, and you get to be in a community. Yeah, and that was nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was so repetitive. Yeah, doing the same thing, and the musical form is very confined. Yeah. And I just figured out during that we did 80 performances just in one season. Yeah. And then I left, and they did 80 more later that year, and went to Paris and did a month and a half, and so why couldn't I have done that when I was in it? But still, that wasn't the way I wanted to do music. No. It was too rigid. Yeah. I like to be a little more free. Yeah. Other people love doing musicals, and more power to them. Yeah. But I just found out that's not for me. Yeah. And I didn't go back. And in spite of getting a lot of offers, but no, that was fine. Mm-hmm. So I've had that experience, and I was very happy that I did that.
Oh, I heard a very good question the other day. Did you ever see Back to the Future?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. There is a special car. You can go back in time. Yeah. If you could go back in a car like that, to yourself being 22 years old. Yeah. Yeah. What would you tell yourself?
That's That's such a difficult question to answer because, you know, if you change anything, then you're not where you are today. And I really like where I am today.
Yeah.
You know, the butterfly effect, you know, if you go right instead of left, then
everything changes.
Everything changes, and I very much enjoy the work that I have, and I don't think I could say to my 22-year-old self, be more structured, don't be so lazy, be more productive, be creative, wake up, you know, stop sleeping so long in the mornings, and don't waste so much time. That's what I would probably say to myself.
Is that what you say to your kids now?
I try to keep a distance to that, because
but you go with the flow, and that's...
I go with the flow, and I don't want to be... if they ask me something, I'm happy to share whatever I give them. But I try not to get involved, because I want them to do their own thing. Yeah. And I don't want to be the old man telling them, you know, well, this is not what I grew up with, and you should listen to Aretha Franklin. Beyonce is fine, but listen to Aretha Franklin, you know. That's where it all comes from. But no, they have to figure out things for themselves. And
that's also a good answer.
That is a good answer. Yeah. So at 22, I would maybe say to myself, pay more attention to the lyrics. Yeah. Get to know what the song is about. Find out how it connects to you. What emotions can you bring to that particular song? Because the lyrics, they tell the story, and that's what people respond to. Yeah. And it's taken me a long time to realize that. So I would have liked to know about that at an earlier time. And I think that's what I would say to myself.
That's a good ending on this one. And the next episode that Bobo is not really aware of is the Nerd Alert one. And stay tuned, because we'll be back.
Thank you very much for watching, and thank you Skyhook for the support. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like if you do. You're welcome to leave a comment or a question below. See you in the next episode, and remember to take your time to listen to other people's stories. You might learn something new. See you.